It looks better. They stick. Go ahead, Ben. Sorry to interrupt you.
You know, when you go to school and you get the kids milk, real milk, they love it. When you pour this stuff that looks like, you know, dish pan water, you don't particularly want that. It doesn't taste good either. So this is a great day. It's only a part of what's happening with our emphasis on health. You know, our longevity has been going down, and other industrialized nations it's been going up. It's because we haven't been paying attention to this. That has changed, and we want to thank you for your leadership.
Well, thank you very much, Ben. Appreciate it. Appreciate all you've done too for the country. I'd like to ask a few of our senators to say a couple of words. Maybe we should start with the Democrat in our midst. What do you think?
Peter Welch.
How about Peter Welch? And
Yeah.
Thank you very much for being here, Peter.
No, thank you. You know, our dairy farmers are so vitally important, and they have a way of life that transmits from one generation to another. And it's tougher than ever for our dairy farmers in Vermont, our dairy farmers in Pennsylvania and others, South Carolina or here. But they're the lifeblood of the community. Nobody works harder and nobody does things that are better for our nutrition. And also for our kids, I'm in agreement. The kids having access to healthy milk is really good milk, whole milk is really good for them. And one of the things that I get very excited about, that really the Vermont farmers talked about, is they have their milk from their farm that then goes directly to many of our schools. And then kids come out to the farms and start seeing how milk is made, what farming is about. That's good for America. It's not a party deal. This has been a bipartisan effort. I appreciate working with my colleague, Senator Marshall, who did a great job, and JT when I was in the House. And Tim, thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you,
President.
Peter. It's got to be like a 90-10 issue, another one of those 90-10. It's good to have you on our side. But it's a great issue, and it's a great thing to do, and we're very proud of it. We're very proud of our farmers. Senator, do you want to say a few words?
Sure, I'll be very brief. We all want to see you sign this bill. But I really appreciate you and Brooke bringing up the Secure Rural Schools legislation. This is critical legislation to our rural communities across this country, and we have to fight every couple of years to get it extended just a couple of years. And this extension we got this year went back to pick up a few years that we missed and is going to expire again at the end of the next year. And Mr. President and Secretary, I'm going to encourage us to get back in here to sign a Secure Rural Schools bill that is permanent. I want to set a goal, or hope that you'll set a goal with me to get that done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody? Please,
Mr. President.
Roger?
Yeah, Mr. President, thank you so much for having us here on behalf of Kansas dairy farmers. Thank you. Milk is the most wholesome, nutritious drink known to humankind. Not only is it full of essential nutrients, it's full of healthy fats as well as protein. As Dr. Carson pointed out, those healthy fats are what helps that brain develop and help you absorb the fat soluble vitamins. The protein is why you drink milk and you're not hungry again in 30 minutes. And I have to point out that under the previous couple administrations ago, thanks to them, we have a whole generation of young adults who have osteopenia and osteoporosis because they never drank milk for an entire generation. So getting milk back in the schools is going to give us healthy bones and healthy minds. It sticks to your ribs and it tastes great. Thanks for your leadership. Yes, sir, Mr. President. Thank you.
Anybody? Politically first, and then we're going to go to the farmers.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Mr. President, thank you so much. I want to ask Dr. Carson if there's an age limit on the cognitive ability. Drinking a whole lot more of this. But thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We literally have legislators here that have worked on this for years. This is something that's been very, very difficult. You're able to help us
You
get
would
it
think it
over.
would have been very easy, actually.
Exactly, but you were able to help us get it over the finish. You and your great team, Brooke, and all of these people have done such a good job. Not only with this issue, but all that we're doing for the farm community, which is so, so very important. So thank you very, very much. And I know that you're going to continue to support farmers like you have.
We do, right from the
Since you
beginning.
were elected. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Mr. President, G.T. Thompson,
Yep.
Chairman of the House Agriculture Committee. I have been working on this bill for 15 years, and thank you.
That's amazing.
Because of your support and your leadership, we were able to get this across the line.
It's such a shame that it would be so hard. You think it
No,
would be-
common sense
It's common
was
sense.
lost. And in the, the benefits today go to
All right,
those precious
drink
children.
milk is the very important message here in the Oval Office. And we are going to go right back there when they begin questions, because the president made some very significant remarks with regard to Iran, as some U.S. troops have been told to evacuate bases in the Middle East, obviously a potential precaution against any retaliatory attacks from Iran if the United States were to take kinetic action in all of this. Now, human rights groups have been warning Iran is planning its first execution of an accused protester. They have used these executions in the past to tamp down rebellions, to obviously, have people be horrified by what they've seen, and as a way to calm things down. This is 26-year-old Erfan Soltani, and he was reportedly set to die by hanging today. But listen very closely to what President Trump just said moments ago. Watch.
We've been told that the killing in Iran is stopping, and it's stopped, and it's stopping. And there's no plan for executions or an execution or executions. So I've been told that on good authority. We'll find out about it. I'm sure if it happens, we'll all be very upset, including you will be very upset. But that's just gotten to me, some information that the killing has stopped, that the executions have stopped. They're not going to have an execution.
All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way. The truth is the light.
I need to have another one of these.
Amen. Amen.
Gee. I kind of.
This is way over the edge. Like we it's not even over the edge. We died already.
This is beyond the event horizon. Like we about to hit the vortex.
Yeah, we about to hit the vortex.
Yeah.
Boy, you looking like a milk dud. Nigga thought he was Michael Jordan. Boy, you looking like Blank Man. Boy, you looking like Lil Bill.
How you die does not redeem how you lived. You do not become a hero in your death when you are a weapon of the enemy in your life.
Well, negotiations, right? Politics.
And we're out of time. So you.
Hey, y'all, gravity. Any day above ground, live it.
I'm back.
Hopefully you went out there and humped something, and hopefully you did well today. Yeah, we had to play that real quick because he's out here talking about healthy. What is it? What do they call it? Whole Milk for Healthy Kids Act. Okay, all right. Do your thing. Economy's in shambles, but we worried about whole milk for kids in schools, which means you're going to go get the multinationals for to get paid off. I find it funny, and this might sound a little liberal, but I find it funny that they were clowning Michelle Obama for doing the same thing. But, you know, again, she was messing with the multinationals too. But I guess when there was a white man messing with the multinationals, it's okay. It's all right. But today we're going to look at how Trump failed in the first year of the economy. And I'm surprised again that they haven't blamed Biden and saying that was his budget. I'm shocked about that, but you know, they're running out there saying that the economy is booming, and I'm out here every day and I don't see the boom. But okay, I mean, sure. All right. So we're going to go over that. We're going to go over the fact that Tucker Carlson has become one of the most powerful white men in the world. And I mean, just from humble beginnings, I mean, shit. Just what was it like 4 years ago? He was the man on Fox News. And now he's not the man on Fox News no more. And now he do a whole podcast and he talked to Putin and Putin exposed him. And then all of a sudden, within 2 years, he's one of the top guys in Qatar. All right, cool. But I think after we introduce y'all, I think we should we're going to start off light with this. We're going to start off light. So I'm sure you're doing well. I'm sure. Anyway, let's see who's in the building. SD Johnson, hello. Stream Element Spots, hello. None Your Business, hello. Carlin for President, hello. DSA, hello. DSB, hello. Oh, and DSB, I saw your sticker when I left, so I appreciate the fact that you gave us that 99-cent super sticker. That's a blessing. And you get this here.
I am overwhelmed.
Emperor Rex. Liar. Welcome. It's okay. Hurricane Niecy. Miss Niecy, what they call her. Hello. You could not stomach 3 light-skinned blacks? Now you said blacks. No, Miss Niecy. You know, we don't say that over here, but I understand. I understand. Again, that's why we only did about 30 minutes of it because, you know, they wasn't talking about nothing else. Wallow J, hello. Remy LeBeau, hello. And for those who haven't said anything in the live chat or the comments, hello. So let's do a customary house cleaning because I have to clean up the fact that I went here and I played that video beforehand. YouTube gonna get mad at me, but you know, we'll appease them a little bit.
Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Now go to start the teaching.
Okay, but you know what? Remember how I said we're going to start off something light? We're going to start off something a little medium. Brandon Holcomb, you come in here, you don't address the room. You and Steve, y'all don't have no home training, no manners. Okay. Then what we going? This what we finna do. Because again, y'all come around here and tell us that we Democrats, sure, I want you to prove that right now. You tough, right? You got a lot of talk. This is what we're going to do for you. Click that link and come prove to me right now that I'm a Democrat. I would love to see this. I think everybody would love to see this before we get to the teaching. We'll start the teaching early. I want you to click that link and come prove that I'm a Democrat right now. Come on, you can own a lib. This should be easy. You could put this all over your social media. You could probably start your TikTok. Now, you got to be careful now because Larry Ellison already took it over and creators are leaving in droves because they're not going to pay people anymore. So maybe you'll get lucky because you own somebody that's you claim is a liberal. This should be easy. Click that link. Don't run now. I know you're probably a bot, but that's okay. Come on, bot. Click that link. Should be very easy. I'm actually surprised you're doing this on your phone. There's been outages. You might not have Verizon. There's outages all over the country with mobile data and all that. McDonald's done kicked you out, so you can't use their Wi-Fi. Come on, click that link. Or are you going to be like the pussy MAGA and just run away? Work. What work? Ain't no jobs out here. What work? They have a net loss of over 1.2 million jobs since last year, since 2024. So what job? He ain't got no job. But he not as smooth as Tom Strong. As I figured. Clowns. But that's okay. Because they always want to talk about we like illegal immigrants, when yet we've been on here saying that illegal immigrants got to go. Then they say, oh, the Democrats are doing all that fraud, yet Republicans are doing fraud too, and been caught. But okay, we figure these are the losers that get pushed in the lockers, and you know they sit there and think that everything is okay. But anyway, we're going to go dial it back down, and we're going to start off light. I think you guys would enjoy this. Just to prove how much the economy ain't worth it. Because, you know, everybody running out here saying that they got everything going. Something happened yesterday. It's been happening for a couple of days, but it's been largely going under the radar. And it's something that I told y'all was gonna happen in 2024. They ain't want to listen.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern.
That's right. January 13th. Just in, a large number of X users have canceled their blue check marks, saying the X algorithm is suppressing their reach and stalling their growth. Really? I don't believe you. Let's see. We're going to put this in. There has to be a story because, you know, people just talk on X. Well, damn. X Premium users report algorithm throttling after paying for check marks. Sounds like they don't have enough money to justify keeping it, huh? Well.
You know how long I've been waiting for this? Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
Let's read, shall we? Thousands of users claim the platform's algorithm suppresses their reach after they subscribe to X Premium, with one influencer's post sparking widespread complaints, including screenshots of stalled impressions and halted payouts. Creators like Blessed Girl 001 say visibility improves after canceling, while others point to large followings yielding tiny views despite the $8 monthly fees, promised perks like reply boosts and revenue sharing. Elon Musk recently promised to open source the algorithm code soon, aiming for better transparency amid the outcry, though X shares no subscriber stats, and some users report no issues. Some. So if you're not in his ecosphere, you're not going to get signal boosted. We know this. We've showed them this. We told them this in 2023 when he first changed the algorithm that this was going to be the result. We told them this 2024 when he changed the model to get money where you could griff off each other's posts. And we have shown multiple times, somebody will put up a post, get hella traction, and then them dumbasses on the right and the left will go in there and just write 3-sentence phrases just so they could griff some views. We have shown that there have been particular people on the right and the left saying how they spend all day on here just posting, just so they can earn a living. We showed you that he changed the model again a couple months ago. Now they finally figured it out, that it's not worth paying. Let's see how much the prices are now. Because they're talking about the $8. So you either pay the $8, which I'm sure most of them got because they're broke, or you get the premium plus for $40. You just realize that it's not worth it. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Seeing this person said, Drone Pro says, now realize they've only got 476 followers and they have the nerve to pay for a blue check and give their ID to Israel. They have some nerve. Seeing how for the last 10 hours, X is basically making my posts invisible and my comments non-existent, I've decided to not give Mr. Elon my $84 for next year. $84. Fam, this person allegedly paid $84 for a year with less than 500 subscribers just to be seen. These people are akin to the kid in school who pays the bully to leave them alone and maybe be their friend.
Idolatry, you reap what you sow.
If this isn't idol worship, I don't know what is. No more checkmark as of the end of February. X is becoming more governed than Twitter ever was. But y'all didn't care. This is what you wanted. Posting a lot to get impressions without blue check is now impossible on X. That's the point. Not everybody in the square is supposed to have access to a microphone. This person paid the $84 for X Premium with 21 impressions. So you couldn't get it here. Sir. Okay. So allegedly here, you have 2 monetized YouTube channels with 2.3 million views. And you can't get no traction to send people to your your Twitter page so they could boost you up. You are following more people than they're following you. You must not be that important. Notice all the blue check marks decrying any threat to rein in X's power, even when it's proven to benefit CP and foreign agents in disrupting democracies. Get a life. Elon won't give you a car. The same people who say they hate Elon Musk and want X-Ban are paying over $5 a month for a blue check mark. Now, to be fair, we're not sure about these people because, again, these are public CEOs and officials. They could have been given their check marks. Just saying. Just saying. Because for those who don't remember, Elon was giving away blue check marks for free if you had, I think it was 2,500 verified blue check mark people following you. But okay. Only way to fix X is to make all accounts be verified. The ones that play blue check marks, the ones that don't, I don't know what the hell they write. I don't think you should have a blue check mark until you learn how to write a sentence. I stopped paying for my blue check mark on X because I got tired of getting engagement baited into arguments with blue check sounding bots. Now I'm arguing with users with no verifications that exist here for no other reason but to argue like most bots, yet they sound real. Okay. And it goes on and on and on. There's that. They're just these are sad individuals. They're paying money to hope that Elon sees their post so they can get signal boosted. Okay. But let's get to the fun. I think we should start off with US and China. You know, BRICS. The motherfuckers who are controlling Trump and sunning him at the same time. Something came down today because, you know, them fools don't listen. Trump is controlled. Yet again. Let me say this again. Trump is controlled. He is doing the work of the OCGSC, the GCC, and BRICS. He is not working for the American people. But okay. NVIDIA wanted to send their bullshit chips over to China. China said no. We don't want them. We want the high grade. We don't want your stepped on. But again, they think that we are not telling the truth.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern.
Exclusive. China's customs agents told NVIDIA's H200 chips are not permitted, sources say. They want the 300s, the ones that can work in the supercomputers that they're building. Let's read. Chinese customs authorities told customs agents this week that NVIDIA's H200 artificial intelligence chips are not permitted to enter China, according to 3 people briefed on the matter. Chinese government officials also summoned domestic technology companies to meetings on Tuesday, where they were explicitly instructed not to purchase the chips unless necessary, 2 of the people and a 3rd source said. The wording from the officials is so severe that it is basically a ban for now, though this might change in the future should things evolve, one of the people said. The H200, NVIDIA's second most powerful AI chip, is one of the biggest flashpoints, in current U.S.-Sino relations. Though there is strong demand from Chinese firms, it remains unclear whether Beijing wants to ban it outright so that domestic chip companies can flourish, or is still chewing over restrictions, or whether these measures could be used as a bargaining tactic in talks with Washington. The chip formally approved by the Trump administration for export to China this week with some conditions is also a hot button issue in the U.S., with many China hawks concerned that the chips could supercharge the Chinese military and erode the U.S. advantage in AI. The sources who spoke on condition of anonymity due to the sensitivity of the matter said authorities had not provided any reasons for their directives and had not given any indication whether this constitutes a formal ban or a temporary measure. Reuters was not immediately able to ascertain whether the directives apply to existing orders for H200 chips or only to new orders. China's General Administration of Customs, the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, and the National Development and Reform Commission had not responded to Reuters' request for comment at the time of publication. NVIDIA also did not reply to Reuters queries. I thought the economy was booming. I was told the economy was booming. Oh, wait. That's right. I can't use that as a metric. That's right. I forgot. I had to use Ford. That's right. I had to use the fact that Ford is putting a plant online 24 hours. That's right. Let's go take a look at that. That is a perfect metric of how booming that the Ford Motor Company is raising. That's what it is. That's right.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern in.
By the way, you maggots, since you claim that I'm liberal and all this, I shit on Joe Biden many a time, but that's not why I brought that up. I brought that up because what liberal you know, right, is really going to sit here and go in depth on how this was a bad plan from the start while shitting on Kamala Harris during. Family, y'all remember when I told y'all that he keep playing around, Canada, Mexico are going to bypass the U.S. and start doing some trade with each other? Remember when I said that in that beautiful live we did on my way home? Huh. Yeah, I don't hear MAGA speaking up now. But let's read. Trump tours Detroit plant, credits tariffs for 24/7 shifts, dismisses Canada-Mexico trade deal. Credits tariffs for a 24/7 shift. 24 hours a day, 6 days a week. You're touting this. So you're overworking Americans because the labor market is so bad that they're going to burn out. And you're hoping to God, because they're exporting these cars overseas, you're hoping to God that these people don't cancel them cars or them people going to be out of a job. Oh, I get it. President claims the auto industry is booming because of his America First policies, attacking the Federal Reserve Chairman and Senator Tom Tillis during the visit. And of course, he had to use a black man in the picture. Alleged black man, because sometimes now we don't know. President Donald Trump toured a Ford auto factory in Detroit on Tuesday, using the company's move to round-the-clock operations as evidence that his tariff-driven trade policy is reshaping American manufacturing. By the way, for those who don't know, they've already had plants around the country doing 24/7, including in Michigan, and nobody was buying these cars. So what do you think having another one go online going to do? Because you're making F-150s. Not regular cars that people can afford, F-150s. Oh, okay. I get it. Standing alongside Ford executives, Trump embraced the label of the tariff person, arguing that pressure on foreign competitors is forcing automakers to expand inside the United States instead of overseas. Everybody now admits I was right on tariffs, Trump told workers and reporters, pointing to the planned shift to 24-hour operations 6 days a week. He said the change reflects a broader turnaround. 4 years ago, plants were closing. Now we have more plants being built in our country than at any time in history, he claimed. Okay, and your steel and aluminum tariffs are going to create these plants, and they're going to be operating at a loss on day one. So yeah, so we're going to expand out more and reduce the other plants' loads, which is going to cost y'all more money, put less money in them workers' pockets, just so you can meet some artificial demand. You got to love economics. You got to love it. Let's see what he says here. He already looks high, but you know.
Get to work! And all of the U.S. automakers now are doing great.
and before they were having a really hard time. You couldn't. The environmentalists would not have let them survive.
So, Mr. President, when you renegotiate USMCA, how is that going to help auto workers like Ford?
I don't even think about USMCA. I mean, you know, I want to see Canada and Mexico do well, but the problem is we don't need their product.
Remember what I told you? I can't wait to see him try to bypass and destroy the USMCA. We don't need their product, sir. You don't need their produce. You don't need Canada's Toyotas that you're indebted to from Japan. You don't need that. Oh, okay. Okay. He don't need Mexico's product. You don't need their medical supplies. You don't need them. Oh, okay. All right. Where are you going to get them from, sir? Because you keep touting about cars and manufacturing and all this other bullshit. Where are you going to, where's the plants for medical supplies? Where are your plants that are creating oxygen tanks? Because you're going to need it now because your stupid ass poison jab, the Belle Biv DeVoe, is now effing with people's hearts. You're going to have a lot more people in the hospitals within the next 5 years. Where are your plants to create plastics? Because you're going to have to go get blood. Your needles, your syringes, all this, your scalpels. Where are you going to get this from? Huh?
You know, we don't need cars made in Canada. We don't need cars made in Mexico. We want to make them here. And that's what's happening. Everybody's.
You don't have the infrastructure. We do not have the infrastructure to do that. You know that. Especially if you're going to sit up there and keep touting Ford.
Moving here from Canada, they're coming here.
How'd that work for Mexico with Hyundai and Honda? How'd that work?
They're coming here. They're opening up their plants.
No, they're not.
Bill is lucky because he's had a lot here, but when he doesn't have it here, he's moving here. They're doing big expansions for it.
Do you understand this is the 4th time in a year this asshole, the Ford CEO, has been on TV looking like a right idiot? They're going to fire this man, I think, by the end of the year.
But they're all doing great. The car industry is exciting. And to be honest with you, Bill, every industry is exciting. Yeah, just like this. Well,
He got up there and lied again. But MAGA's going to fall for this because they're too scared to go down that rabbit hole and realize that we're going to be screwed. But I know what the exit plan is. They're going to run to the Middle East as soon as he leaves office. You watch what I tell you. Trump brushed aside the role of the U.S. Mexico-Canada agreement trade pact, saying no longer factors into his thinking. I don't even think about USMCA, he added that while he wants Canada and Mexico to succeed, we don't need their product. Okay. All right. Ford expands production and factory shifts. Ford CEO Jim Farley and Executive Chair Bill Ford confirmed the expansion, with Farley saying the company has never seen anything like it. So when y'all were running the company in the 60s and 70s, making buku money before you sent it overseas, you didn't see nothing. This is higher. Okay. Okay. Well, Michigan was one of the richest states in the country. Oh, okay. Okay. The Detroit area plant is adding a 3rd shift to meet demand for the Ford F-150. It just gets hotter and hotter, Farley said. He also noted that Ford is expanding an existing plant in Tennessee to produce a new lower cost combustion engine truck. Lower combustion. Lower cost. Oh, so we're going to have the Ford 50. Okay. The Ford 75. Okay. The Ford 50. Okay. Farley credited regulatory changes under the administration, citing relief from Environmental Protection Agency standards, Lee Zeldin, that Trump criticized as excessive. Trump claimed prior rules required 3 computers on a car to save minimal amounts of fuel. Farley also said a recent Time magazine survey of 10,000 people ranked Ford as the #1 iconic American company. Okay. Great. Okay. Yet people are not buying Fords like that. Okay. Sure. And I'm sure Chevy is going to like that you said that. Sure you're going to like. I'm sure you probably kissed their ass when you got back in the motorcade. I'm sure. All right, Trump, you got it. So that's an indicator that the economy is booming. Working people more. Oh, I just came from the grocery store. Yay. Yay. The prices were down. This is what MAGA told me. Prices are down. The economy is booming. Everything is great.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern in
eggs and everything. Didn't y'all tell me that grocery prices were down? This is what they told us, right? If grocery prices were down, why is CPI up? Why is inflation up? Why is a half gallon of milk, now it is organic, why is it $5? Huh. But I was told that grocery prices are down. CPI rose at 2.7% annual rate in December as inflation remains sticky. Huh. The consumer price index rose at an annual rate of 2.7% in the final month of 2025, in line with economists' forecasts and unchanged from the prior month, capping a year when many Americans felt squeezed by price pressures. Huh. Oh, by the way, this is CBS News. Y'all let Barry Weiss take over most of this, if not the whole thing. So I'm sure they're going to tell us that Trump is doing a great job. I'm sure, right? Yeah, they can't possibly knock him for anything that he's doing.
Americans entered 2025 with optimistic expectations for jobs, inflation, and living costs. But as we near the end of the year, recent CBS polling finds that only 32% of people view the current economy positively. CBS News Executive Director of Elections and Surveys, Anthony Salvanto, joins us now. So, Anthony, did Americans' views of the economy change over the year, and what word did they use to describe?
Wait, this might be the renegade squad in the CBS newsroom, because you know Barry Weiss is all about pro-conservative views now. So this might be the rogue outfit. I don't know how the hell they convinced the producer and the director and the people writing the scripts and the production team and the people in the control room. I don't know how they I don't know what words they use to tell them we're gonna put this on the air. And then you gotta go to the internet folk and ask them to put this up. I don't know. And you got this all through Barry Weiss eyes. All right, say less. Go ahead.
The economy.
She looked like Howard Stern's sister.
All throughout the year, people said they didn't think the economy was good.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, if you go back years, people had said that in all the years from the pandemic in 2020 up through now. So the long answer to that question is things didn't really change. But let me show you what you teased there at the top, which was coming into the year, people, at least a slight majority, had good expectations.
Because Trump sat there and told them I was bringing down grocery prices the first 2 days. This is what he said. He said, as soon as I get in, everything gonna start dropping.
For the economy, but at the time, they didn't see it as good. Did that change over time? Well, let me show you the thing I just described. This is those views of the economy, and as you said, only 32% in our most recent poll. The thing that's really driving that as we do this sort of year-end wrap-up for context, well, a lot of that was about cost of living. And a lot of that, we saw big differences by income. So that people saying the economy was good were more likely to be making relatively more money. But for folks at the relatively lower end there of the income and middle income scales, they were less likely to say the economy was good, and the same thing about their own financial situation. And that tells a lot of the story of the year. I'm showing you some charts here from snapshots throughout the year, but these were consistent things all through our polling, all through.
I want everybody to look at that. I'm part of the 40%. Now, we not squeeze, but we understand that it is a little tough out there. We understand this. These are the lies they're trying to sell you. These right here. There's nothing wrong. It's in your head. We're sitting online all day looking for the positives. They're just not reporting it. We have to wait for Trump to do live confirmations. See, y'all don't know. You're not on the inside. Again, these are the same people telling you this while they have contracts. While other people are paying them to talk. But lo and behold, let them go put up a post one day saying how they have to go and go shopping and see how much their bill is. They probably couldn't even give you a comparison.
Throughout about what Americans were saying they were feeling. Again, all of that driven by costs and prices.
How far did people say their dollars were going?
Well, that leads to this, and that really was important. Here's a snapshot. This one happens to be from November, not too far ago, but we saw
right before Thanksgiving. Oh, wow.
All this throughout the year. People kept saying that they felt prices were still going up. People kept saying that they didn't think their incomes were keeping pace with inflation. I'll show you this one. Here's one very recent from December where you show the tracking, and that's what I mean by consistently saying this throughout, right? You had these big numbers saying their incomes weren't keeping pace with inflation. That's what was driving a lot of those views on the.
Do y'all see the month that they had in the middle? I want everybody to type the month that they have in the middle on there. Anyway, how y'all doing today? I always forget to ask that. July. Y'all can type it in there. I need that. July. Didn't I tell y'all that the bottom was going to start falling out in July? July was also the month when they started lying, saying that the economy was doing better because of the second quarter GDP, which again, most economists will tell you, you can't use that as a judgment of a healthy economy. But yeah. What is this? Friday. Okay, we'll go. What is principal's economy? Was that top?
Something good.
Shit. Okay. Shout out to her. All right. Sorry. Right. July. And then you see now, number starts going down for positive and up for negative. Right. This is what y'all told us. The economy is booming. Got it.
Economy, even when we got to holiday spending, a lot of people said they were having to cut back because things were still too expensive for them.
But I was told we did record spending. This is what I was told. We did record spending. This is what we were told.
What did we see in 2025 that gives us sort of an idea of what to watch in 2026?
Well, a couple of things. One of them, I want to point to this, AI. Because, if you followed the stock market this year, that was driving a lot of the market gains. Companies were making big investments in it. We asked this back in the spring. What's AI good at? What don't you think it's good at? And a lot of people said it's good at finding things online, analyzing data, that sort of stuff. But at the same time, we also very recently asked about AI and jobs.
Again, since MAGA don't want to tell you this, you come here because I'm going to tell you. I told y'all, not y'all all right. I told those idiots, they're using AI to screen y'all out. If you're not foreign, they don't want to hear it. The AI, when you go on these websites now, they're the ones processing your application. It's not going directly to the company that you're applying for. They're letting the AI be the recruiter and the first person you meet. They're letting them be the interviewer. Huh. That's what they really mean by it will decrease the number of jobs. If this AI on these websites keep weeding out prospective candidates, what they're going to do is there must not be a demand for that job. We're going to get rid of it. And the only reason why they said it's going to increase the number of jobs because you're going to need data centers. So to grift the STEM numbers, everybody's going to try to start going into that sector where you're going to have a backlog of people that are going to be experienced enough to go in there and keep them running efficiently. So the veterans are going to have to compete with the rookies. And they're going to want to hire the rookies because they're going to work cheaper.
And you found this big number here, thinking that it will decrease the number of jobs available as opposed to increase them. That's in December. And I think looking ahead to 2026, this is going to be one of the big topics as it was in 25 and very much an economic, maybe becoming a political debate.
It's already it's already a political debate, sir. Marjorie Taylor Greene already exposed it. It's already a political debate. State regulation on AI. I need y'all to keep up and use CBS News.
Does AI have in terms of impact and where does it hit? Where does it impact across the economy?
Fascinating. Anthony Salvanto, thank you.
I swear to God. Barry Weiss, you got some problems in your ranks. You got rogue actors running around out there. All right. Let's get back to that. Let's get back to that CPI inflation.
Let me go here. There's a growing concern.
Well, what this be? Here's where inflation is hitting the middle class the most. I wonder. Let's look. Now, this came out 7 hours ago. Financially stressed middle-class families looking for relief in the latest CPI report probably won't be too happy. Tuesday's data revealed that the cost of living for Americans ticked higher in December as the consumer price index rose 0.3% last month, leaving the annual rate of inflation at 2.7%, well above the Federal Reserve's 2% target. Gonna blame Jerome Powell for that. And we're gonna show you how he blamed him for it. The cost of food has persistently been an area where inflation remains high for families, and the latest data suggests it's getting worse. Prices for food at home and at restaurants each increased 0.7% month over month. Well, again, it's the holidays. We know shit's going to go up. What's more, the cost of food at home was up 2.4 year over year, while food at restaurants was up 4.1 from a year ago. What the data shows is that for many families, price increases in everyday necessities reset their baseline. Primerica CEO Glenn Williams wrote in an email to MarketWatch, even if wages have technically kept pace on paper, the feeling of falling behind has become the norm, and that ongoing pressure weighs heavily on confidence about the future. Unlike some monthly costs like discretionary spending or travel, which aren't needed for day-to-day survival, a family's food budget is not as easily trimmed, and persistent inflation on such necessities put pressure on consumers, particularly families in middle or lower income brackets. Discretionary spending or travel. You see how they try to separate out gas costs? Which aren't needed for day-to-day survival for the most part. The devil's in the details. We'll skip all this. Coffee, almost 20%. Beef and veal, up 16%. Candy and chewing gum, 10%. Frozen fish and seafood, 8.6%. Lettuce, 7.3%. Bananas, 5.9%. Non-alcoholic beverages and beverage materials, 5.1%. On the flip side, some foods that have not seen their prices go down over the same period include eggs, 20.9%, because he imported them, but okay. Potatoes, down almost 3.5%. Frozen and refrigerated bakery products, 2.6%, and butter and margarine. Okay. But I was told this stuff. I was told this is the economy is booming. Look, drivers can also take respite in gasoline prices dropping 3.4% over the past 12 months, although prices in the overall energy sector haven't eased up. Electricity costs are up 6.7% over the past year, and utilities are up 10.8%, leading to scorching winter heating bills for some. So while driving may be cheaper, heating and electricity are taking up more of families' budgets. And you remember I told them that this was going to happen. And not just because it was the winter when I said it. I said the shit is going to go up, and y'all are going to ignore it. I told y'all's electricity bills were going to go up, your heating bills was going to go up, and your cell phone bills going to go up. Ain't going to be a damn thing you're going to do about it. But this is young man. This is Mr. Businessman. This is Mr. Economy. But let's show you how Mr. Economy is telling y'all that everything's okay. Mr. I'm going to sit up here and tell the credit card companies and the lenders, you're not going to charge 30% APRs anymore. You're going to charge 10. Because they're going to listen to you. Go ahead, Trump, tell them.
So we're paying $360 billion a year for each point. Now, I believe we should be 3 or 4 points lower. So that's over $1 trillion we pay every year in interest. And it's really just a paper calculation. You sign a document and you save almost $1 trillion because that number equates very much to the bonds that we have to buy. But despite that, we're powering through it. And we have the greatest economy maybe we've ever had.
He's telling that lie again. I feel like he's talking about the upper echelon folk. This man literally said, because the economy's doing well, they should drop interest rates. I'm sorry. I said that wrong. He said, since the stock market is doing well, they should drop interest rates. The stock market that's being propped up by tech stocks. Okay, Mr. President. And just like in 2007, when everybody sat up there and watched the stock market start to topple after doing what they did with the home mortgages, which we're going to get to next. And they had to be forced to raise interest rates and put people that were paying zero down and zero interest rates, and they had to put them on a normal mortgage, and they couldn't afford it. What do you think is going to happen? Is our economy going to be booming at that point or nah? Let me guess. You're going to sell it out to bricks. But you can't do it outright. You can't do it. You got to do it like this. You've got to buy up mortgage-backed bonds. I'm sorry. I said that wrong. I said that wrong. Mortgage bonds. I said that wrong.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern in.
Mortgage finance demand jumps 40% after Trump's $200 billion bond buying spree briefly sinks mortgage rates. Well, ain't that something? Mortgage refinance demand jumped 40% higher last week after President Trump ordered a $200 billion bond buying spree, briefly sending mortgage rates below 6% for the first time in years. Refinance demand was 128% higher than the same week 1 year ago as homeowners rushed to take advantage of sinking 30-year fixed mortgage rates, which fell to 5.87 on Monday. I am instructing my representatives to buy $200 billion in mortgage bonds, Trump wrote in a January 8 post on True Social. This will drive mortgage rates down, monthly payments down, and make the cost of owning a home more affordable. Mortgage rates typically move very slowly, only inching down by hundreds of a percentage point a day, but they plummeted after Trump's social media post. Later that day, Federal Housing Finance Authority Director Bill Polt said in a post on X that Fannie and Freddie are the entities that will do the purchases. So the government. Okay. He also told reporters on January 9th, we put in a $3 billion buy already. Total mortgage application volume soared 28.5% last week from the previous week, which was adjusted for the holiday, according to the Mortgage Bankers Associated Index. Applications for a mortgage to purchase a home also rose 16% for the week and were 13% higher than the same week a year earlier, likely due to people returning after the holidays. Mortgage rates have since bounced back above 6% as analysts anticipate higher oil prices. I can't wait to tackle this Exxon thing. I can't wait. So we'll give y'all that. Now it's time for the show. Because we warned them for months. They're not going to buy this oil. They don't want it. The market doesn't need it. The oversupply on the market is just that, an oversupply. It's going to stay there. They're making money with excess. How many times do we have to tell them this? They don't need it. But y'all think that we need all this dirty oil that is going to take years to refine. But you're right. I don't know what I'm talking about. We'll let the experts tell you.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern in.
via Forbes. Trump threatens to block ExxonMobil from Venezuelan investments. All because they said they don't see the point of doing it unless they get massive incentives to go down there. They know the infrastructure is screwed up. Even Trump running outside talking about, oh, we're going to go down there and build up the infrastructure. You do realize that you're going to have to strip mine the whole thing to find out what the problem is and then rebuild it. That's going to take a decade at the minimum. Unless you go sell it out to China, which is probably the plan. Okay. In a stunning escalation, President Donald Trump has threatened to ban or bar ExxonMobil from operating in Venezuela after the company's CEO, Darren Woods, expressed deep reservations about investing in the country's battered oil sector. During a White House meeting last week, Woods reportedly described Venezuela as uninvestable without major legal reforms, prompting Trump to accuse the oil giant of playing too cute and warn of potential exclusion from future deals, as reported in The Guardian. Now, you're watching in real time Trump try to big boy corporations. This is not going to end well for him. This comes as the U.S. pushes for a $100 billion infusion from American energy firms to revive Venezuela's vast reserves following the dramatic capture of former President Nicolas Maduro on January 3rd. The threat underscores the growing friction between the administration's aggressive push for U.S. control over Venezuelan oil and the cautious stance of industry leaders wary of political instability and entrenched corruption. By the way, the militias are moving towards Caracas right now. Just so y'all know that. You know, they don't want to tell y'all that. Shout out to Great Black Shark. He put people on to that. ExxonMobil's share dipped in pre-market trading Monday morning, reflecting investor jitters over potential loss opportunities of what Trump has called a tremendous wealth play. As oil markets digest this latest twist, the incident highlights the high-stakes gamble in post-Maduro Venezuela, where economic revival hinges on foreign capital amid ongoing diplomatic tensions. The situation in Venezuela remains fluid 9 days after U.S. Special Forces. We don't care. The financial fallout from the U.S. intervention has been surprisingly muted so far, but high volatility could be brewing in the coming weeks and months as geopolitical risks intersect with an already oversupplied global oil market. Oil prices initially ticked up post-raid, but have since stabilized just north of $60 per barrel. Ricky Ross T said, didn't the Saudis already tell them that? Yes, but they don't listen. The Saudis already told them that the Saudis can make money off a $10 barrel. They have, okay, I got to explain this again to MAGA. MAGA. BRICS, they're already on OPEC. They are setting prices for the world. Why in the hell would they go outside and directly, listen to me, why would they directly say that they want Venezuelan oil? They're going to use Trump to do it. Oh, you don't believe me. You don't believe me. I figured you didn't. Because we know y'all not going to go down that rabbit hole. I'll go down there for you. Would y'all like me to go down there for them? MAGA, how come y'all didn't want to tell folk, right, that ExxonMobil just struck a deal with Saudi Arabia? Why ain't you want to tell them that? I'm just asking for friends. You don't believe me. I know. And I'm a lying liberal. That's what they say.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern in
what this be. ExxonMobil, Aramco, and Samref signed venture framework agreement for potential Samref refinery upgrade and new petrochemical complex. I wonder where this is. Ooh, Yanbu. Where's Yanbu, you might ask? Where's Yanbu? Well, Yanbu is on and near the shores in Saudi Arabia. Huh? Huh? There you go. Since y'all don't believe, and look, it's right by an airport. Well, look at that. Yanbu Industrial Sea, right on the Red Sea. Let me look. Here's the region. Here it is. It's literally like an hour and a half away from Jeddah. It looks like it's about 2 hours to Riyadh. Huh? Why would they want to go risk more money with dirty oil? They could get clean oil from an entire region, not just a country, since we have to talk. Because you know nothing. This whole region right here. Let me help you MAGA idiots one time. You see all this right here we have on the screen? For Istanbul all the way down to here. All this over to Kabul. Maybe they could get the Tajikistanians and the Kurds and the Kyrgyzstans, whatever. They're all about to make buku money. The bullshit going on in Iran right now, this was meant to happen. This entire region is fixing to make money. And the American gas companies want to make money here because they know it's sustainable. Because this region right here is willing to play ball on a diplomatic front. They are willing to be progressive. Okay, you dumb asses, let me help you something. Because you don't look. Here's Caracas, right? This is beautiful. You say we're going to take all this over, right? With the gas and all this. Let me help you since you don't know how this works. You see where Caracas is located, right? Right on the shores of the Caribbean Sea. Not that far from Trinidad and all these beautiful Caribbean countries. Miami's right here, right? You do realize that this whole region, we'll even include Florida as a whole, this whole region is volatile right now. They don't know this. Remember, they captured some Russian subs over there by Cuba, even though they did that last year. MAGA didn't pick up on that. Now he's taking shots at Cuba. Cuba's doing nothing. He would rather drill and destabilize this region and sell it to MAGA as a beautiful piece of legislation, all the while giving this entire region access to America for pennies on the dollar and your goddamn data. And when his term is over, run right here to this little near island right here, which is conspicuously right across the Persian Gulf to Dubai. Interesting. But there you go. Show them that. Yeah, we'll help you some more. Since y'all don't want to listen to nobody. Oh boy. They think Texas is going to benefit from this. Let me help them again. Saudi Arabia already owns Texas.
What the hell?
The largest refinery in that state is owned by the Saudis. They're already here.
I actually
do the mathematics.
Yeah.
Math don't lie.
The Saudis don't care about the Venezuelan oil right now. They want to see who the power players are that are going to go there and try to sell it. Then they're going to find out they can't do it on their own. Then they're going to call up the Saudis. The Saudis are going to undercut them, take that, call up China. China going to go down there with their people, no Americans, barely, build it up. China's going to take the lion's share of it. Trump is going to go out there and act like he got undercut. He don't understand what's going on. Start infighting, but all the while still collecting a check. This is a script. But MAGA think taking out a leader, even though they said we don't want no war. He talking about he was about to go blow up Venezuela again. Now he talking about he gonna go blow up Iran again, and y'all don't see the play. I can't help you at that point. All that information you have at your fingertips, and you can't look this shit up and realize that you're being played. You guys are the new globalists, except y'all are not in the room making the deals. But sure, just keep telling us that, you know, we're booming. I hate y'all. I'm going to say that again. MAGA, I hate you. Because now you're teaching your children not to critically think. You're teaching them to be failures and follow somebody else. Whatever they say goes. Now you see why I say y'all are in a cult. You're no different than them liberals. No different. And you deserve everything you're about to get. When you sitting there sucking that man off, pause, while you're losing state control, while you're losing local control, you deserve that. And then like the cowards you are, y'all are going to run. Except you're not going to run within the U.S. You're going to run to the Middle East. You know, the area that y'all love to say is so oppressive. And you're going to become a minority amongst Muslims. That is going to be hilarious. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to get up out of here. Hopefully you learned something. If you did, I done my job. If not, I try to be better next time. Tomorrow, if you're up that early, we will be looking at Anna Kasparian versus Pearl Davis. The streets need to understand what they are going to watch. We will break it down, and it's going to be fun. So we're going to take a look at that tomorrow. But y'all enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Y'all take care. Stay safe. Hold on. William Moran, thank you for the $10. That's a blessing. And you get this here. Not that. Y'all take care, stay safe, and you know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your existence. Wait, what am I doing? There was one other thing I had to show you.
You know, let me go here. There is there's a growing concern in.
Time's up. Get your ass up! We gotta get out of here now!
But did we have a good time here? Hello?
Gotta get your groove on!
At the end of the day gotta end.
That's it.